All right, guys. So I'm sure you all remember this guy called the QAnon Shaman. He was the guy that was at January 6th. He had his shirt off in the middle of the winter, and he had like fucking body paint or tattoos or whatever all over him. He was wearing traditional shaman like headdress or whatever. And he was one of the ones who got into the Capitol and was like on the floor of Congress. And he was like, I don't know if he was stealing shit or, speaking at the podium or whatever, but I think he was one of the ones who was sentenced to some time. Now, Trump, of course, pardoned all these people. This guy, believe it or not, has flipped on Trump. He is not buying what Trump is selling anymore, and CNN interviewed him. Let's take a look.
Are you still a Trump supporter?
No. I thought you knew that.
Why not?
The man alone refusing to release the Epstein client list was enough for me and I think a lot of other people to be like, okay, this is bullshit.
Jake brought us to a mountain overlooking Phoenix, where he says he sometimes performs his shamanic ceremonies.
So we're gonna hike a bit?
That's the hope and the prayer, right? If we're gonna hike though, I'm taking off my shirt.
America's not ready for me to take my shirt off.
I've been around with this headdress and the face paint and stuff. People are like, are you the guy?
You come up here a bit?
Yep, I love this spot. One of my favorite spots.
Huh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is cool. Looking back on Jan 6 now, how do you feel? Do you have any regrets? Do you regret that you went?
Not at all.
Even though you had prison, all that stuff?
Even though I had prison and all that stuff, no regrets. I don't live with regret.
You went to Washington because you believed the election was stolen, right?
Well, look at it like this. I went to Washington because I believe that every election since Kennedy has been stolen, and I believe every election since 1913 has been stolen.
Just say yes. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. Yes, you went because you thought the election was stolen, because you believe Trump's bullshit. Just say that. Say that. Don't do it. Everyone says 1913.
Went to Washington, not so much to support Trump, but to support America and the idea of free, honest, and fair elections in the United States.
No, that you were supporting Trump. Come on, man. Come on, dog. Don't try to whitewash it now. Come on, man.
So you were never this wild Trump supporter.
Look at it like this. I supported Trump because he was talking about ending child and human trafficking. I supported Trump because he was talking about arresting Epstein and the Epstein client list.
Did you ever identify as the QAnon shaman?
Never. Not once.
But you were a Q follower?
Well, kind of. I had a sign that I carried around with me for a little while that said Q sent me, but that was because of the meme Q sent me,
yeah.
Right?
So the issue that made him say, fuck this guy, I'm done with him, is Epstein. In fact, you could say of his strongest soldiers, the ones who flipped on him that were his strongest soldiers, almost all of them, it's tied to Epstein. Almost all of them. And I think that's because it was at the heart of the lore on the right. Like, the heart of the lore on the right is that there's these, like, satanic, demonic, billionaire Democrats who are, pedophiles, and they have these evil rituals that they do, and it all ties to, like, Pizzagate and Hillary Clinton and all this stuff, and the Podestas, and, this was, like, the core of QAnon. And the thing is, the thing that's ultimately super interesting is that they were largely correct that it was a thing, right? Like, the pedophile elite, but most of them are Republicans. That's the part. They missed that part, right? That actually Trump is the best friend of the number one child sex trafficker, Epstein. And there's immense dirt on Trump. But like, there was sort of a truth at the core of it, but they were just wrong about all the details and all the specifics. And it was used as a partisan thing to hit the Democrats with. But in reality, like I said, most of the people that were guilty were Republicans. That's not to say there were no Democrats, but most of them were Republicans. And so he woke up because Trump was so brazen in trying to hide the Epstein files. It was so obvious he was guilty. It was so obvious that he's trying to protect these people. He literally said to Marjorie Taylor Greene, "You're going to hurt my friends if we release this." He literally said that. As of right now, as I'm talking to you, they've still only released 1% of the Epstein files. 1%. What's in that other 99%? Because from what we've seen, it's already disastrous. We learned that Trump was on Epstein's plane at least 8 times. We know now that he went to the island, whereas before we only had speculation that he went to the island. We know he went with Marla Maples, one of his former wives, and he went with Tiffany, his daughter, which, holy shit, that one is incredibly disturbing. But we also learned about the limo driver in Dallas who says Trump talked to Epstein on the phone about, quote, abusing girls, and this guy wanted to pull over and beat his ass. This was on an FBI intake form, a tip for them to investigate further. A girl that Trump allegedly raped was found dead with, quote, her head blown off, and the cops did not think it was fluicide. They did not think it was suicide. So I don't know why I just said fluicide and then suicide. I already ruined it, but you get the point. Epstein had a drawer full of pictures that were dedicated to Trump. They were all Trump pictures, and the FBI posted it and then pulled it down when they realized that they posted it. Mar-a-Lago was subpoenaed in the Ghislaine Maxwell investigation because that was a big part of the human trafficking system. Like, this is what we learned, bro. We learned that Steve Bannon had a picture of Trump and Ghislaine on a plane in 2021. That's way after we were told they cut off all contact. Trump raped a girl named Dusty in 2000 from Oklahoma, and she was found with her head blown off. The Trump Princess Riverboat Casino in Lake Michigan, there's some dark stories around that about him raping a girl, and then the girl had a newborn, and they took the newborn out and threw it in the water and committed murder. Like, this is all stuff that's in these files. It's on the FBI intake forms, and there's some corroborating evidence. It's very disturbing stuff. Very disturbing stuff. And then, everything else that we learned is just so disturbing. There's literal texts of Epstein discussing buying and selling girls. There's a picture of Epstein delivering an underage girl to this fat billionaire. Epstein's brother says that they're sanitizing the files of all the Republicans and Trump, and that he thinks Trump killed his brother. It's all bombshells in there. And what would be interesting to me is this guy still coping and seething around the details and the specifics with just how guilty Trump is? Like, he may be one of Epstein's 10 co-conspirators. Is he still coping around that, or has he fully accepted it? Because you look at a guy like Alex, who was all over the Epstein files. Now he's saying, well, Epstein is real, but Trump being guilty in the Epstein files, that's a hoax, that's a hoax, that's a hoax. So I'd be interested to know, does the QAnon shaman understand just how deeply Trump is involved in the child sex trafficking ring? Does he understand that he might be one of the 10 co-conspirators? Does he understand that there are fucking videos of him doing stuff that fucking Mossad probably has? Does he get that? Or does he say, look, it's just the fact that he covered it up, I left him? I don't know. But in my estimation, and from my perspective, most of the people on the right that I've seen leave Trump over the Epstein files, they refuse to accept the full truth. That Trump is like all over the files, potentially one of the 10 co-conspirators, and there's so much dirt on him that it would, like, if all of it came out, it would just like lead to a black hole would open up and everybody would be sucked into it from the gravitational pull of how insane the stories are.
Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.